Hey everybody, it's September 22nd. We might be leaving in the morning, heading down to the UN where I get to do my kingly thing for a change. We go into a different world. It might begin tomorrow, might be the day after. We're pretty close now. But before we go, I was sitting around kind of bored because there's absolute garbage for news on television. I figured I'd take a look at the accuracy of what I said yesterday about if Vladimir Putin came here, he'd have all 10 of the Bill of Rights, and I'd only have about 6 of them. So I decided to look to see how many of the 6 I'd have. And I decided not to pick him, but to pick the Iranian delegation coming to the UN, given their threatening war against the land of the free, just to see what the comparison is. I was actually surprised. I've had so many rights taken from me. I can't even drive. Not without having to swallow drugs because, we believe in health care for all, except me. It's complicated. Well, let's go through them here. Hang on a moment. I've been joking. Here are the 10 amendments, which are the Bill of Rights, and the ones that apply to the Iranian delegation, and the ones that apply to me. Let's go through them in some kind of an order. I'm going to give you the thumbnail as to what the rights actually are instead of just the number. I was shocked that I get 2.5 out of the 10. And 2 of the 2.5 are the boilerplate ones. It's fascinating. Let's start at the top, but let me point out that my mail was not delivered. It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Without that, I'm crazy, which means that anything I do or say can be viewed through that prism if we go by the literal documentation available to crooked and unreasonable people who go by unreasonable man laws instead of reasonable man laws. I have no freedom of speech if I'm trying to protect people from nerve gas because that's crazy. It's hallucinatory to imagine there's nerve gas around. I have no freedom of religion because my religion is pagan, which was the original American Indian religion, and that's crazy. Schizophrenic, actually, according to official psychiatrists who know everything. Our nation was founded on freedom of religion, was it not? At least that's what we're taught. All except for the original people who were here. I always find that one kind of amusing. I mean, it's serious, but it's amusing. I'm crazy. I can't buy a gun. I can't pass a check at the gun shop. America's ranking general does not have the right to bear arms. But the security detail that comes with President Rouhani presumably has the right to bear arms. You have to check that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. If not, the ones at the consulate have the right to bear arms. Third Amendment says I don't have to billet soldiers. Ah, well, if you steal my paperwork, then I have to billet them by force, right? And I do. Protections against unreasonable seizure and search, I presume. I mean, if I think about it hard enough, it is. Um, the Iranians get it. Your ranking general does not. Uh, Self incrimination, the Iranians have it. Me, I'm crazy, so I don't even get to that point. I'm presumed to be insane and lying. If the Iranians get into trouble, let's ignore the diplomatic immunity protection they have. If they didn't have it, then they'd be subject to the Sixth Amendment and could face their accusers. I can't. There's no such thing as deep state, right? You think those cowards are going to come out of the bushes and say, yeah, we've been running this operation to burn all our good agents over the years, General Sir? I don't think so. I can't even face them. I don't know who they are. Other people now do, but it took a long time to find them. We got a right to jury trial in civil rights cases. You think my civil rights have been violated? So far, if you look at the Bill of Rights, I'd have to say yes, but since I'm crazy, they get to say no. Iranians? Oh man, you can't violate their civil rights. They're treated almost like citizens when they're here. Almost, not quite. Even I was shocked when I went through this thing line by line. Because I was just thinking, what a joke it is. They take everything from me anyway. What difference does it make? But when you want to get legalistic about it and look at this document that old Dan Tucker's now walking around the halls of the United Nations General Assembly this week, UNGA, and talking about human rights around the world. Anyone who's anyone in the place knows exactly what's going on, but look at this one. Holy mackerel. They have been fighting me. This has been a civil war. Not very civilized about it, have they been? Now we go down to cruel and unusual. I don't know if getting nerve gassed and getting zapped by microwave radiations are on the list of cruel and unusual punishment. They may not be technically, because the liberals and the communists really care. Man, greed has turned these brains into mush, hasn't it? Then next up we have unspecified rights are either the province of the person or the state, which is pretty much boilerplate and, not really in his day, it was great. And it's observed more in the breach of it than in the actual observance these days. And then we have the last one, which is, well, you can see it. It's protection against arbitrary power. So people can't make stuff up and put it in and say, okay, always, and you're subjected to it now. Well, I say can't do it, but I suppose they actually could, because they kind of do it around me. I can't even tell people when they're in a gas attack without having the cops summoned to arrest me for being mouthy and finding out that I'm insane. I'm not kidding. It's been hard to do this work. When people are fighting a war against you, you don't really, or if you're me, you don't think about the legalistic stuff and whatnot, except at the level of whatever relates to whatever the work to be done is. And this is kind of a summary and a recap, in a way, of just how hypocritical it's been. Have a nice day. I'm gonna. Well, the rest of it anyway.